Brendan, January transfer window closing yesterday. How do you feel about the business you did over the month?
Yeah, I was pleased with the two players that we brought in. I mentioned before, but the improvement in the level of quality and coming in, and the two guys will certainly give us that over the short, medium, and longer term.
You mentioned quality a lot. You feel those two are the quality to bring the team up another level?
Yeah, but they're certainly going to support what's here, and I believe, again, it's just about having that depth and the strength and depth for us, which I thought was key in trying to build the squad, especially with the number of players that we've had out injured this year, unfortunately. Like of Adam, I have absolutely no doubt when I came across his name, I was really excited by him because I'd seen him as a young player, and obviously with the playing as a 17-year-old in the 21s with the Republic of Ireland, and obviously then in the Premier League up against my teams, and just seeing his physicality and pace and power and ability with the ball. So and obviously still very young, 22 years of age. He's still got so much potential and so much more development left in him. So, but he's got enough experience having played in the Premier League, and coming to here, as I said, for 4 months we can take a look at each other. I know he's absolutely so excited to be here at Celtic. From where he's from and where he comes from, he knows the importance of Celtic, and I know he wants to really come here and make an impact. And as I said, I'm excited about his talent and see if we can unlock that, because if we can, then he can be absolutely brilliant for us.
Was there more business that the club and yourself were looking to do? There were suggestions that you were in the market for a left back.
The club have worked very, very hard in order to help and improve the squad. So there can be no fingers pointed in that direction. It's just about the level of player that we want to bring in. I've said it before, at the beginning of the window, we can bring in players that can fill out the squad, but that's not what this team needs. This needs a level of player that's going to allow the team to progress, and if that's not available, or the work that we've been done and just couldn't quite get that player to the club, then that's unfortunately the way it is. But I now know where we're at. Going forward into this next part of the season, I'm really, really positive and really excited about the team that we have, and like I say, it's going to be a really exciting 4 months for us.
I appreciate social media isn't everything, but there was maybe a bit of discontent amongst some supporters last night that maybe more business wasn't done across January. What would you say to those supporters that maybe aren't too happy with what was done across the month?
Yeah, listen, I can understand that. I can understand it. I think supporters here will always demand the very, very best. That's what Celtic is, and I'm here to also deliver that. But if it's not the right player that doesn't fit right for what it is we want to do, and I've always said it's not about the quantity of players, it is about the quality of and the level that we want to bring in. If that's not available for us, then like you've seen throughout the game, that the market been fairly quiet. So it's been no difference for us, but it wasn't through a lack of effort and work from the club. So now we'll move on with the group that we have. And like I said, we're really positive about that. And despite maybe the frustration, I know that there's still a lot of growth left in this squad.
I think, Brendan, from the fans' point of view, they've seen the summer window come, and it was perceived that you were quite upset, well, not quite upset, but not particularly happy with the business that was done in the summer, because there was a lot of talk about bringing in the quality. Very early on, we were looking forward to the January window, and there was a few key positions that were identified, and left back was a key one. And I think fans are quite irate not seeing that position filled. Can you just talk us through, what was this failure there? Was there a failure? Were you unhappy with what you've been offered? Could you not get the quality that you needed? Was it too expensive? Could you just elaborate on that to maybe help fans understand a wee bit better what happened?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that we had looked at a number of players that didn't just quite fit, or certainly maybe wouldn't have improved what we have in some certain positions. And then there was others that we felt, and it was then basically the other club that there was a real willingness here from the club to do business, to bring the players in, but sadly, you need that to work both ways. Players wanted to come here. We had a few players that really wanted to come, but the club wouldn't allow them to come. So like I said, listen, we have a number of positions that we want to improve, and we want to develop that. And what I wasn't keen to do was to just bring in a player to make it fashionable and to have that yellow band across the telly saying that we've signed a player. But if it's not going to work for us longer term, or certainly medium to longer term, then I didn't see the point in that.
When you came in the summer, you said one of the things that attracted you was you'd had a look at the scouting system and the transfer system. You were quite impressed with that. How do you measure the success as a manager of the recruitment team? And would you consider these 2 windows a success?
Well, listen, it's the responsibility of all as a club. I think that you can't just purely label it on the recruitment team. The recruitment team clearly has a job to do, like we all have a job to do. But this is a collective responsibility. And what I would say is I understand where we were at in the summer and coming in. I understand now, having been in here, the structure even more and where we're at. And yeah, I would go with sports thinking we maybe could be a little braver in terms of bringing in another level of player. But that's something that's up to me to try and fix that over the course of my time here. But listen, you look at the strategy here at the club, and you have to be careful because in some ways it has worked. You bring in players for maybe a minimal fee, and then they go out and they make the club a lot of money. Okay, what I want to hopefully try and balance in my time here is that we can still do that, because that is an important part of the modern game, bringing in a player that has still growth left in him. But we also want to be brave enough to hang our hat on a player who's a ready-made player and someone that can come in. So I totally understand the support and where that's from. But likewise, still, that player has to be available. Now we bring in someone like Adam, who's a big talent. Now that might be someone come the summertime that will be that type of player, but we get the chance to see that.
And just finally for me, can you speak a bit on what happened with Gustav Lagerbielke? He looked to be on his way out of the club. There's rumours about Cameron Carter-Vicker's fitness. That loan seemed to be nixed at the last minute. Can you speak on that a little bit for us?
Yeah, no, it was. We had interest on Gustav for a few weeks, and I was happy for him to go, but only when everything here in house was taken care of, purely because of the history of our centre halves in the first part of the season. Cam, Mike, and Stephen Welsh. 3 of those guys have been injured for significant periods. And the last thing I wanted to do was let a player go out until I was sure that and safe enough to know that those guys could be fit. Now, I'd spoken to Gustav and said that after the last game that we played against Ross County, I'd make a decision then. Lo and behold, Cam picks up his injury, which keeps him out for a few weeks. And at that point then, I can't let him go out, because it's another bit of evidence that I need to ensure that I look after the squad for this second part of the season. So it was tough on Gus, because he's a good guy and he wanted to go and get minutes and play. But first and foremost, I have to look after the club and make sure that the team and squad is ready for the second part of the season. So that was the reason why he didn't go.
Can I ask you, you mentioned the word bravery there when you're talking about the approach in the transfer market. You confident the club will show that bravery maybe in the summer window? Is that a process you're still trying to go through to maybe persuade some people to?
Listen, it's time, isn't it? And like I said before, we've got to be really careful here, because I get a sense of looking for someone to blame. And that's not what this club's about. This club's about being together. The minute there's a separation, then it's a difficult club. A difficult club. So we can't look to blame anyone. Me as a manager, I will always demand the best possible players that we can get in here. The board's job and the people who look after the club have done that over many years. The club have made a lot of money, okay, and they've invested money. And I think what we are looking to do here is find the balance and get players in that, like we say, that are, say, ready-made alongside players that are developing. But that's naturally what we will do. And I think teams and managers will always want that.
Also, how's Rio Hatate? Have you had any information from Japanese squad?
Yeah. So he'll come back. It looks like he actually supposedly has done both calves, from what I've seen. So he's probably going to be 5 to 6 weeks, from what I hear. So another part of the season, this season, where we've had no luck from an injury perspective to our top players. So he'll be back very soon with us, and then we'll start the treatment on him and get him back as fit as we can.
And like Gustav, obviously, were you in two minds about whether to sanction David Turnbull leaving yesterday on the back of that news, or was it too late down the line, or was that different circumstances?
Yeah, it goes back to the summer and knowing sort of where David was at and his thinking and mindset. And obviously he's in the last year of his contract. So I felt it was best for us and for him to get out and play. He's done well here. It hasn't worked out quite how he's wanted it to, but he goes away. He's a good guy, worked very hard, and now he will have the chance to go and have a permanent place to play.
On the game tomorrow, what are you expecting from Aberdeen? Maybe something a bit different just with the managerial change this week?
Not really. No, I think we always prepare for a tough game. What I will say, I think it's, I really feel for Barry and the situation that he was in, because he's probably punished a little because of the success that he had. Taking them into European football. He had a great run last season, getting into Europe, and then that's never easy because of obviously the expectation, but the physicality of it all, having to play in the weekends, midweek, and then go again. So that's obviously been a challenge for them. But no, sad to see him go. He's a good football guy, and he'll learn from the experience and then be ready to take that into his next job.
Just on Cameron, is that likely to be a similar timescale to Rio?
No, not as long. The medical team are saying probably around about 3 weeks.
Any other team news at all? Anybody coming back?
Awata.
Owata, no, he's back on the training field, but not available to play. So still waiting on that.
Adam likely to be in the squad for tomorrow?
Yes, no, he will be. He'll be, and he's had a lot of minutes. He's been involved in 28 games this season, so he's game ready. He's ready to feature if needed.